Welcome to Wild But True with Malcolm Walker. This time we move into something spooky, and one of the top requested topics was modern ghosts. That's right, ghosts that are haunting us even today. And since I do love a good ghost story, this is a historic burial ground that dates back to 1820, but it was always known as Greyfriars. It was originally called the West Kirk, then later the New Caltain Cemetery. It wasn't until 1999 that it got its current name, Greyfriars, Kirkyard, or churchyard. That's also when things started getting weird. In 1999, visitors to the cemetery reported being scratched up, bruised, and even knocked unconscious by an invisible force. Some claimed they'd been hit by objects thrown by unseen hands. Others said they'd felt a ghostly touch, like someone had reached out and squeezed their shoulder. But when they turned around, there was no one there. It got so bad that Edinburgh City Council had to put up warning signs telling people not to go into the cemetery at night. Because you see, it all started after a local historian named Sean Baxter uncovered the remains of an old wall within the graveyard and used a metal detector to identify where people had been buried, including those who died from cholera and tuberculosis epidemics in the 19th century. They were disinterred and reburied in mass graves, and it's believed that this disturbed the spirit of one man in particular, a man known as Bluety George Mackenzie, who had been buried there in 1731. Now, Mackenzie was a very real person who'd served as an officer in the British Army, but he got his nickname because of what happened after he died. See, when he was initially buried, the grave was marked with a stone slab, but it was stolen sometime in the following centuries, possibly to make a paperweight or doorstop, and so over time, his remains were lost. Then in 1983, his descendants paid to have a new headstone erected over his grave, only for it to be defaced with obscene graffiti. His bones were disturbed once again when the site was redeveloped in 1999, and ever since then, visitors have reported hearing chains dragging, metal moans, and the sound of people screaming and being tortured. Some even say they can hear music in the wind and smell the scent of burning oil. Is this really the work of a ghost? Well, there are certainly plenty of stories to choose from. For instance, there's the tale of the woman who came to visit the grave of her deceased husband and was scratched so badly by an invisible force that she needed hospital treatment. Or the story of the young couple who stood by the Mackenzie monument and heard disembodied whispers directly in their ears. Then there's the account of the girl who took her dog for a walk through the cemetery and felt something grab hold of her ankle, causing her to fall to the ground face first. When she turned around, she saw her dog growling at nothing. And then, just like that, the growling ceased and her dog became still. When she finally looked up, she saw the gravestone looming over her with the inscription, "Beware of the dog." There are so many reports of strange occurrences at this cemetery that some paranormal investigators believe it may be the site of a portal or some kind of interdimensional rift. Honestly, if I were you, I wouldn't want to test that theory by going to Edinburgh anytime soon. Not until May, at least. That way you can avoid Robbie Burns' Night, which is celebrated every January, just in case you're planning on spending the holiday in Edinburgh. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know by giving it a like and subscribing for more historical hauntings.